For many people, spring is a season to declutter, both physically and emotionally. The arrival of sunnier skies and warmer temperatures fills us with joy and positivity, especially after a winter that feels like it's dragged on forever. And if you ask me, spring is also the perfect time to take a good look at your schedule and see how you're managing your time, and to create new, healthier habits for the upcoming season. And in today's video, I'm going to give you 7 strategies to do this. Hey everyone, it's Kristen here from KristenWestcott.com, where I help working moms simplify their lives so they can find their own life balance. Some days we talk about getting organized, managing your time, and creating systems, and other days we talk about reducing stress and living healthier lives. But in today's video, I'm going to cover how to spring clean your calendar. We're going to cover 7 time management strategies in order to prepare for spring. But if you're watching this video at a later date, don't click away because these strategies are good at any time of the year, okay? But before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell beside it so you get notified when I post new videos each and every Tuesday. I have a lot of great tips coming up for you in the next few videos, and don't want to miss any of them. Did you subscribe? Okay, let's dive in. Wouldn't it be nice to spend some more time with your family in the glorious warm weather, to be able to learn how to own your schedule with some simple time management strategies? And you can, right? In order to be able to master your family time, work time, and still be able to get out and smell the lilacs, you need to be able to master your life right now. And that starts with great time management habits. In this video, I'm going to share my best tips to help you master your time and productivity so that your schedule makes you happy and not stressed. These are the principles that I live by and to try to implement every day. But sometimes life does get in the way, and that's totally okay too. Strategy number 1, plan, and then plan some more, okay? One of the biggest mistakes we make is to not plan our schedule at all, or to just write a long to-do list with absolutely no order. If you want to keep order in your life and be able to focus on your goals, then planning becomes a necessity. I recommend time blocking when you block out certain chunks of time to complete a task, right? Sit down on a Sunday evening and plan your whole week ahead, or your Friday afternoon and plan your next week, whatever fits for you. And making sure that when you're planning this week, that you're fitting your priorities in, right? With this method, then you can ensure that everything gets done when it needs to and that nothing gets forgotten about. If you don't know what time blocking is or why it's important, I just did a video on this, so be sure to check it out after this video. The link is in the description below. Okay, so that brings us to strategy number 2, and this is that boundaries are a good thing, right? How much time do you waste on a daily basis on social media? Come on, be honest here. You may not even realize that you're doing it, but most of us are guilty at the aimless, ever pointless scroll. So block out times in your schedule that are completely social media free. These are usually your family time or your personal time, right? And during these times, it may be easier to actually switch off your phone in order to enable you to be completely present with your loved ones, or at the very least, charge it out of sight in your bedroom. So what I do when I come home from work is I go upstairs, I plug my phone in my bedroom, put it on vibrate, and I leave it up there to charge so that I can come down and spend the time with my kids while I'm preparing a meal, having dinner with them, having that intentional time with them after dinner. And then when I put them to bed, I go back up and I check my phone for messages. If there's anything urgent, somebody will call and I will hear the phone ring upstairs and I can go and check and see why somebody's phoning. But other than that, any of the messages, notifications, things like that, I don't hear while I'm having that time with my family, right? Boundaries are a really good thing when it comes to this. You don't need to be on 24/7, and our phone has actually become quite an addiction for many of us. So spring is a great time to implement this change, right? There's so much your family can do outdoors and away from all of the screens. So start figuring out where you can set your boundary on how much screen time you have daily and how much time that you're wasting on social media, and see what you can replace that with that more intentional time, more personal time, right? Maybe that's getting outside, going for a walk, whatever that looks like for you. Okay, so strategy number 3 is to batch your tasks. So remember earlier when I mentioned about planning your schedule right down to specific timings, right? And I talked about needing to time block. Once you've got the hang of this, start to batch your similar tasks into those blocks of time. So for example, if you have administrative tasks to do at work, schedule all of these administrative tasks one right after the other into their time blocks. Right? If you have some personal errands to run that involve being out of the house, batch all of those together too, because this saves a lot of that back and forth wasted time. Make a list of what you need to do, where you have to go, what you have to pick up, and go and do all those errands all at once on one day rather than running around after work every single day to go and do something or pick something up. That back and forth time, in and out of the car, in and out of different parking lots, it all adds up. So batch some of your tasks together so that you can get more things done in less time. Strategy number 4 is to set a bedtime. Get enough sleep and be able to wake up a little bit earlier, right? Getting a good restful night's sleep can work wonders for our productivity. When we go to bed late and we don't get the sleep that our bodies need, we feel lethargic and not really in top form, meaning that we're not working to the best of our ability, and generally then we're performing a lot slower than we usually would. So while getting up earlier may be easier as the sun rises in the spring and summer months, getting to bed can become a challenge because the sun also sets later. So don't be fooled by the sunset. Keep an eye on the clock and set yourself a realistic bedtime and making sure that you're sticking to it even as the days get longer. You'll be able to wake up earlier and get more done in the morning and be more energized for the day ahead if you've gone to bed at a specific time, right? Got enough sleep throughout the day. So some people ask me, well, should I be getting up earlier or staying up later? And that is completely up to you. We all have a different circadian rhythm in our body. And so you know yourself whether your natural tendency is to get up earlier or stay up later. But regardless, you need to be aiming for 8 hours of rest time, okay? 8 hours. So if that means you stay up till 11, then you can't be waking up before 7. So if you have a job that requires you to be up before 7, then you need to work backwards and make sure you're going to bed at an appropriate time. Okay, so this all works for you. For me, I cannot do early mornings. Doesn't matter how many times I've tried. It's not the rhythm that my body prefers to work in. So getting up at 5 a.m. or 5:30 a.m., even if I go to bed at 9 p.m., doesn't work for me. So I tend to stay up a little bit later and then sleep in a little bit later, but I'm still getting 8 hours of sleep and I'm still up at the latest 7 a.m. Okay, so you have to figure out what works for you, what time do you need to wake up, and then set a bedtime for 8 hours prior to that and stick with it so that you can get that good night's sleep to be productive and energetic throughout the whole next day. And strategy number 5 is to focus on your priorities. So I've talked about this a lot in a few other videos, but going back to making that plan yet again, it's crucial to make sure that you focus on your priorities. This is one of the healthiest time management habits that you can practice. So when thinking about what you need to do, make a list of everything that you think needs to be done during the week ahead, and then organize this list in order of importance. Rank it from 1 to 20 or 1 to 30 or 1 to 40, however many things you have on that list. Rank them all in order of importance. And then pick 3 priorities for each day. 3 things that are an absolute must-do task. Make sure that they're scheduled with ample time to complete them, right? So this might be a mix of tasks for work and tasks for home. And make sure that you're setting the appropriate time blocks in your schedule for that. If you have a really important report to do at work, block off an hour or 2 in your schedule at work to work on that report. If you have something going on in the evening at home that's really important for you to be working on, block off that task. Or if you're the morning person, like I mentioned in the previous strategy, get up early, do that particular task first thing in the morning before anything else starts to interrupt your day and get it done, right? Focusing on your priorities, scheduling in those must-do tasks and with ample time to complete them really goes a long way to helping you be able to manage your time better. So another thing people ask me is, well, what if I want to do more than 3 or 4? I've got a list of 40 things. There's only 7 days in a week. If I only pick 3 a day, I'm not going to be able to get that list done. But picking more than 3 could lead to overwhelm. And it's better to be able to complete 3 tasks and feel really accomplished with what you've completed that day. You have enough time in your day then, to be able to pull from a couple of other tasks. It's so much better to do that than to try and cram in more and run out of time, right? anything on your list that doesn't make it into the schedule isn't a priority for you. And it's time to learn to be able to let some of those things go, right? You don't want to spend your entire spring and summer indoors tackling your to-do list. You don't. We have a long enough winter that when we can finally get outside for the spring and summer, you don't want to be tackling all of those things. So set those priorities, be able to focus on what the most important things are, and then get outdoors and enjoy some leisure time, whether it's by yourself, with friends, or other members of your family. So strategy number 6 is to write your goals down on paper, right? The new season is the perfect time to set some new goals. So think about what it is you want to achieve and make sure you write them down. Writing your goals on paper will remind you and motivate you more towards taking the actions that you need to take to accomplish them. So strategy number 7 is to make time for yourself. Okay, and again, I know I've talked about this in other videos, and I know you already have a zillion things to do, and you're doing something for you is the last thing on your mind, right? There's meals to cook, laundry to do, deadlines to meet, kids to collect, right? But making time for self-care is one of the greatest things that you can do to increase your productivity, which ultimately means that you're happier and can kind of breeze through your to-do list a lot easier. Even if it's just taking a few minutes out to meditate, to journal, maybe to go out for a short walk in the fresh spring air, this can work wonders, right? When making your schedule, be sure to make sure that you're blocking out some well-deserved me time. Okay? And if you're struggling with figuring out what to do with self-care, how to make it more consistent, what self-care really actually means, be sure to check out the mini-series I did this past winter. There's 4 videos. I did a self-care mini-series, and I'll link to them in the description below this video. But even implementing just some of these techniques that I've talked about today into your routine can help make a difference on your time management, right? But why not try and accomplish all of them? It doesn't have to be all at once. Focus on one strategy at a time and take baby steps until you're the master of your time, but try picking these strategies and focusing on these different strategies each week to see which ones work for you and which ones you're able to really incorporate this spring so that you can have a spring and summer where you have that time to relax and get outside while still getting the things done on your to-do list. And if you want even more tips on how to rein in your schedule this spring and summer, check out my free cheat sheet for creating your optimal schedule. There's a handy flow chart to help you figure out what should make its way onto your calendar and what maybe you should be passing on in this particular season. And the link to that cheat sheet is in the description below this video. And now I'd love to hear from you. What changes are you going to make to be able to prepare for the spring and the sunshine this year? Share them with us in the comments below. And as always, if you thought this video was helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you can get more tips and tricks from each video that I post. And please share this video with your friends through your favorite social media channels so that they can benefit from this information too. So that's it for this week. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.